Today is National Remembrance Day for murder victims. It's a time where people all over our country pay tribute and honor those who are no longer here. One of the goals is to bring family members, survivors, law enforcement, and advocates together. First at 4, see New Yorker live now in Cleveland, where several organizations, Sia, are gathering.
Yes, Nicole, several of those groups, including the Black Women's Army, Black on Black Crime, and the Carl Stokes Brigade, decided to commemorate this day here at 79th and Central because they say that this area is, quote, saturated with remembrances. Domestic violence advocate and survivor Laura Cowan says it's a day we can never forget.
It should be, because you want to pay homage to the victims whose lives were cut short. They would have been here right now with us.
Back in 2007, Congress designated September 25th as the National Day of Remembrance for murder victims. Since that time, people and organizations all over the country commemorate, including right here in Northeast Ohio. Cowan and other activists like Judy Martin have been on the ground for decades, working with families and raising awareness about what they say is an epidemic. One of the reasons why activists are keeping watch. Martin keeps a memorial wall of sorrows, a 4x30 display that lists the names of thousands of people who have been murdered in Cuyahoga County since 1990. She carries it to the vigils to remember the victims. Monday evening, Cowan, Martin, and several other groups will join together to honor those gone too soon.
Me personally, I would want to have someone remember my child, my aunt, my cousin, my loved one, period. You know, and not say their name, not forget about them.
Again, at 5 p.m., there's a vigil set to commemorate this National Day of Remembrance for murder victims. Now, coming up on 19 News at 5, hear one way and one solution that advocates feel that we can make a difference. 19 News will be here live, reporting on the scene. Reporting live here in Cleveland, Sia New Yorker, 19 News.